All right, Arzite Pirates, welcome to Teaching Athena to Speak Elvish Part 2. Um, the group here, we spent the night, I gave them some food that buffed their statistics. Um, I went and checked on the dog, ate some rice, drank all my tea, checked on the parrot, she's asleep, she's kind of tucked away. And all that takes, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes or something like that. Especially because with my memory being the way it is and how fast I do things is that sometimes I'll get back in and I'll be like, did I check the dog last time or this time or the time before that? And I'm like, well, and then I go out and I check him again. And so often for me, checking on the dog involves coming in and out of this room 2 or even 3 times to replay the same process with the dog. And it's very easy, and especially later in the evening, it's a simple one where you walk out and you pet him, and if he still has energy, wants to play, he will get up, shake himself off, and wrestle with you for 5 or 10 minutes or something out there. And then if he's tired and he's like done for the night, he'll just put his head up and let you pet him, and then put his head back down. So it's not a hard thing to do to check on a dog. But so that's what I've been doing in between the last video and this one. And everyone in the game board was just waiting where I left him. So Glunweir here is going to take us to observe his archery competition.
A treasure chest.
It's funny, like, there's a lot of conflict in the media over this game right now. And some of it's over stuff that I don't care about, and I can't, like, some people don't like it because it has a bad performance. And then they go and poison the well of every forum about the game, saying things like, we deserve better than this, for $70 we deserve better than this, blah blah blah, and then they try to tell everyone the game sucks and not to buy it, right? And it's like, there's like the large majority of gamers, obviously, who don't go participate in those things or like express themselves like that about these subjects. You know, it's like, well, we bought a game that we wanted because we did research and it was how it was described and we liked the actual product that we got. You know, and really what they're not understanding is that they're the people who continually get duped into buying things they don't like. And then they come and complain about it in public as if this is some, you know, this is some problem of the person who made the piece of creative content. You know, and it's like, well, why are you going around paying $70 for something you think isn't going to work right because of whatever, and then you hate it over one detail, when the overall, I mean, you're the people who are paying $70 for stuff that you're claiming doesn't work. So if anyone's to blame, is it not these same people, right? It's weird.
Now, this is a good find.
But that's just how little sense any of it makes.
Perhaps fortune has deigned to aid us at last.
One of the other things that people complain about is apparently there's microtransactions in this game where you can like pay some money for some real in-game like items or whatever. And it's funny because if you look and read about it online, all the people complaining about that sort of thing make it sound like the game's unplayable. And the truth of it is I haven't even found that or seen it inside the video game anywhere. Like it doesn't, I don't even see it. Like, I wouldn't know it was a thing if I hadn't noticed people complaining about the game over it, right? It's like not a part of the experience at all. I ran myself out of explosive arrows while filming. That's what happens when you're trying to be too showy. And anyway, there's been, so as I've looked around and looked at some other people's impressions of this, you know, and also read a little bit more as I could to see how some of these features worked, so I could use this thing better as a performance stage. I saw several conversations, and one of the funniest ones was people were complaining about how when you travel places, you're constantly attacked all the time. First, they complain because you can't just hit a button and warp from place to place. You actually have to walk and get the game world experience.
What's on
And
the
then they
back?
complain that you get
You mustn't
attacked
allow yourself to
constantly
become
by
complacent.
little goblins, by
Take each trial as
wolves,
it comes.
by big monsters, and they're complaining about it. And it's like that's one of the most brilliant things about the game is how do you think the game trains you to be so good at it? How do you think it actually gives you benefits to your reflexes, right? Without doing that. Like this game, you don't have to do anything. You just walk around through this game and this game will train you to
Now
be good
there's
at
a
it,
worthy prize.
you
If only
know?
twerk so far
Uh
away.
like that's why I thought this was a piece of literature that was like I could invest $70 into this piece of literature because it would be worth it was so good I could write literary commentary on it, and that feature of it is one of its best features, you know. And I can point out that is what the real game board is also like, you know, like there's constant surprise and keeping you on your toes, and this game keeps you at such a high level of
My talents lie
observation.
in combining materials, and I'll use.
No, I'm not interested. I was just following the
I'll
elf.
harvest what I can, should it please you.
Take me to your leaders, elf. Um, that particular feature of the game, it puts your keeps your mind in a state at a very high level of alertness while continually training the muscle memory it takes to engage in the piece of literature, and it's improving your performance, right? Because when you're the player of the game or the reader of the literature, the literary performance that you receive improves directly with the quality of the performance you create inside of it, right? It's like reading the same book. Like the fourth time you read the Divine Comedy, like you know how to perform that book out for yourself, and it is one of the most delightful things ever written on paper, you know. And whereas the first time it's this overwhelmingly beautiful tapestry that's just there's just so much going on, and you're just your imagination is brought through the ringer with all these like fantastic jokes and this hilarious like inferno imagery that just has you laughing and laughing, right? And then it's using that to stir up all of the psychological roots of its own literary threads that it's then going to take you through purgatory and up to paradise with, and it's very delightful. Um,
Fear not. I'll think of something.
and so all of these experiences that this game throws in your face, like constantly getting attacked and getting descended on by griffins and cyclopses bursting out of the trees and all sorts of other things, you know, the overall effect of that is this great battering it gives. Like your imagination has to fight back with its hands, right? Like, oh my God, like the first time you see these things when you and I don't have a giant setup or anything, but I have a 42-inch 4K TV, right? And remember, partly what I did to myself was I Rip Van Winkled myself for like, you know, I mean, the last television I owned was in 2008, you know, and I didn't play games on it. Um, and so I went from my cell phone screen to this, and so when I observe and participate in this literary experience, like those things jumping out of nowhere and me having surround sound headphones on, like it engages my whole imagination, like tied up with like my neurophysical response mechanisms due to the gameplay, and like the amount of information and experience that can actually be transmitted by this literature because of that is phenomenal.
Ilmen elote falomentare nun fear
Uh-oh.
nambawe elelia yavtolme nandeo in morteren ecialis nun fear ananduine fanamone matiene lismelto.
See, and this is why I need to teach Athena to speak Elvish, is so she can translate it for me. I literally don't know what's happening here. Okay.
Some of us fail to grasp that this world extends beyond the bounds of our cloistered haven.
Mm.
Ah, forgive me. You do not speak our tongue, do you?
No, I do not.
From this moment forth, so long as you remain by my side,
Oh, thank you.
I shall interpret for you. Now, come. The place that...
Let's see if I help this guy become a real elf. And this is my first experience of this place. That's why it pops up like that. And what's also great about this piece of literature is as I'm streaming this now, the first week it's been out, everyone's going to know that because that's part of the mechanism of the game. And there's like only one save file. I think they're changing that because too many people complained, but that's just a really interesting feature if you ask me.
We need not words to show our intentions. The elves may come to trust us if we prove ourselves indeed.
Let us endeavour not to give our host any reason to doubt us further.
Yeah, I agree. I brought Gandalf. Like what? Like they should be down, right? Yep. Checks out. Seems pretty elvish around here. Yep.
Ayu, Fanamo ne Metani.
Right.
Materials such as this can be combined to craft things.
Oh yeah, I can make explosive arrows out of those
Different
flowers.
combinations of materials result in different creations.
That's true. That's what's nice
Tile
is
of archery shall be held here. I bid you wait just a moment, but I've just noticed. They ne'er leave their posts.
Nenwen mor Iwanon. Alcarwa fir nun eldaya.
oh Taliesin. Nice.
Martir fa nun fionor. Minas vena eralote.
Predictable.
Alcarwa fir nun eldaya. Menelume sur Karilm. Kiriando.
No. Darren? I cannot stand idly by while my sister is in peril. My friend, if e'er I've had need to call upon your aid, 'tis now. I beg of you to join me in my sister. There is no time. I shall mark the location of the ogre's den upon your... Make haste. Her life hangs in...
Oh, jeez.
Nun ve oyonda atar.
I think this is great content so far. So
There are
apparently
useful ingredients to be gathered here, I'll wager.
an ogre has
Pick some now.
kidnapped
And use them when the need arises.
the elvish leader's daughter. To make a great Lord of the Rings joke here is I want to say he's probably talking about Aragorn. Oop. Never have too much moon glow, isn't that right? There you go. Heck, maybe that's all that was going on at Camelot is they were all half-elves. That makes a lot of sense. Celtic half-elves. No surprise their literature looks like it does. Or the literature about them, rather. My goodness. Get a lot of exercise walking around in an elf community.
Master, my heart knows no greater peace than when I am by your side.
Glad to hear it, Gandalf.
You're here, and not a moment too soon. We must find my sister and save her from the ogre's clutches.
Sure.
Mor martir tel adaka kiriandio.
Tayel ni sil arin fil.
nun morivin we al...
Nando infa echialis, pelinolwende, sinde, soron.
Moriven fendelnar itarondo.
Oh, it's the master archer.
Falis tulia fuenenumen, osto taralia osto telpe.
Remember, this whole experience is the one that my character Cervantes has to go to in order to become a master archer himself.
You heard correctly. My father is the Archermeister, and thus custom dictates that the most skilled with a bow among us shall serve as arborist, you see.
Oh,
In
interesting.
essence, village chief. But I will gladly defy my father if it means saving my sister. And with this bow in hand, I know I shall prevail. None shall fall to the fell ogre while I draw breath.
A tavern, of all things. It seems undisturbed. Mayhap we'll be the first one.
I'm gonna see if there's any way I can. Oh, nope. I don't have any way to combine myself.
To explore it.
Maybe Athena has some lantern oil as I about to have this thoroughly elvish experience, I'm sure.
Might I recommend we
Nope.
venture inside before bandits find us?
Oh, geez, so pushy. That's what I like though, is because how the game's made, like the pawns don't, since they're mostly observing the environment because of what the environment's made out of. They do passively well as annotators, right? Like I've been impressed at several moments so far, especially at some of the emergent comedy that comes out of the.
Do your weapon with the fury of the elements.
See, I'm just letting them do the work. All right. All right, let's go. What am I supposed to do here?
Must you run so fast? I can hardly keep you in my sights, Arisen.
Oh
No
man,
time to catch your breath. Try to keep up.
that's right. It's like we're in like situational awareness. It's like, what is she, a sorcerer? Just like it, just like a nerd.
I shall summon a storm to blow our foes away.
All right. I'm way better at archer than I was at fighter. There was this other class I played called Mystic Spearhand that of course I was good at, but the problem was it was so overpowered it didn't make the game
I've got
fun.
a good feeling about
You were
this
just
one.
instantly like super powered, you know? Oh jeez, I gotta explore and everything. Boy, I'm liking this Elvish area though. I'm gonna make this my base of operations. I mean, assuming I get along with them after whatever happens.
Witness my magic.
If I fail their tests and it saves, I might just be stuck not being friends with elves. Ouch. I'm not a fan of the squealing, dying dog sound. Of course, if I ever heard a sound like that in my environment, of course, I would recognize it right away and run right towards it. Yeah, it's not my favorite noise. Like, when the undead die, I don't mind the noise it makes so much. And, like, goblins. That's the thing is, you know, when you study and look at literature, especially with folklore, a lot of times, you know, you can take it, it's like a map of someone's reality, so you can say, oh, these funny people, you know, are like this type of person, and this funny person, like, but when you look at goblins the other day, I was trying to figure out, well, there's no goblins. And then I realized who the goblins were. It's like, they're like misbehaving dogs that don't like other dogs, right? That's what the actual goblin, and it's just like that too, because there's like there'll be a few packs of them around, and if you go into the goblin areas, like, they're gonna come out and act just like that just because you have a dog with you, and your dog's looking at them like, what? Like they just let goblins live in town? And he looks at you like, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know, I can't do anything about it. But if there's anyone in the rural setting, in 2024 West Coast America, that's like a goblin, it's like people whose dogs don't like other dogs. I hear they're like, they grow up in cages and stuff like that, and so you understand. But
for some time yet.
you know,
We were overconfident in our abilities. It is a
Well-
painful reminder that fortune will not always favour us.
yeah, thank you for the pithy observation, Athena. But whether those cages are like some pound, you know, or in shelter that then rehabilitated them, or if they're just like packed into living spaces that are too small for humans, right? Which are obviously not healthy for even humans, but because of our economy, they're stuffed with humans and dog owners,
Not all
and you get
chests
the goblins
contain
come out of that
treasure, you
maybe. I
know.
don't know. Because every time they see a dog, it's like the competing dog. You know, it's like the other one that barks, like, right, you know, I don't know. They do act like goblins, though. So I guess that, in a sense, that
This is an obstacle I'd sooner be rid of.
If you need that destroyed, I'm your pawn. I expect you.
I guess the game is really tapping into some
Arborheart,
anti-goblin sentiment.
preserve me. 'Tis e'en more nightmarish a sight than I had feared. My father battles the ogre while my sister is... But there is still hope, if I act quickly. Listen well, friend. I shall strike the beast's arm while my father holds its attention. The moment the ogre relinquishes my sister, I have ne'er attempted to strike a target so distant before. Yet, for the sake of my sister, my...
Okay, we can do this. Damsel, ogre,
Keep
all
Devon
right.
out of harm's way.
Quickly, Master. We must
And
carry
how many
you to
times have we
Durham's
seen this in
safety.
literature? Watch this.
Sure.
All right.
Let my magics grant you an elemental boon. I shan't let them harm you.
Am I supposed to shoot him? Am I supposed to wait for him? Oh! What? Oh, jeez, that looks rough. Let's get the sister out. Hey! Oh, that was... Wait. Where is the sister? Who's this guy? No.
Our foe, stop! Bring it down!
The moment of victory is at hand. Let us finish this.
Did she already skedaddle? I hope. I mean, he specifically asked me to lead her out of the fight. Oh! Ouch. Oh, all you had to do is actually kill it.
This place.
Well,
A
there you go.
shameful result.
See, I was really there for moral support. The elves were capable of taking out the ogre on their own. All right. What and what now? Am I supposed to open the chest, I guess? I don't feel like that's really...
A treasure chest. I can hardly wait to open it.
Yeah.
Let us hope your curiosity will be rewarded.
Findelnar, El Tara, Angamar.
Oh.
Come. Let us quit.
What, isn't there a person? Am I missing something really obvious? Remember, I'm not an intelligent person, so I could be missing something that
You're
was
well
very
fond of
obvious.
picking things up, aren't you?
So I assume get out of this place means go back the way we came. Perhaps we will locate this individual. I think it's kind of funny that they've run this whole
Ingredients are plentiful hereabouts.
damsel rescue operation, and there's no damsel to
As
be
much
seen
as we can
anywhere
carry.
that I've been aware of. Huh? No.
Come to think of
Oh.
it, we're all of different
Oh.
vocations, aren't we?
That is most fortuitous.
They're
I see it as a
unconscious.
glad thing. We
Oh,
are
look
well
how
poised to
poorly I did
supplement
that.
Each other's strengths.
I could have snuck in here during that fight. Oh well. I'm just trying to learn Elvish, people. I'm not. This isn't my usual thing. Is usually just go, you know, handle the one Cyclops who's bugging the farmers or whatever. Defend an ox cart from an ambush by lizard people. Okay.
I'll gather these now. 'Twould be a shame to forget their location when we need them most.
All
Hold a
right.
moment. What's this?
What? He wants to stop and pick some flowers. Or maybe that's not what he meant.
A way out. Let us make haste.
I see the lizard guy behind you.
Oh, my heart. There can be no gladder tidings. None of this would have been possible if you had not. You are my sister's savior.
Eteler, le fermor
Finlenar.
Karilm ilmen arkael. Silfanam. Kemenindor kanian irils aldekar. Fionar elwe arfarne nenwen sur orne.
Ooh. And this is how the head elf archer learned a grudging respect for human craftsmanship and archery. Interesting.
Eteler, le fermor eldalia iralope. Ondovana alvekil.
It's great they chose Taliesin.
Lungtena peli telume. Ane martir tindome ingarina fa alme alcarwa. Nenwen mor aiwanon. Artahir kurir. Kiriando anmindor hiroth. Artahir vanalin hirosh soron. Sorne an fameltol. Nun, kasinke telpe nun findaler. Lera nefir heranon. Anne artaher.
There you go.
Firnis.
Cervantes had an effect on elven civilization, just like that.
Finlenar. Lungtena we fear nosto.
Because who else is the one who's like learning to hit bullseye after bullseye after bullseye after bullseye, right? The in the human world, as far as the elves are concerned, just the satirist, right? No one else has been doing nothing but perfect their aim their whole life. Good job, Cervantes.
My
We taught the elves how to
gratitude
shoot.
Knows no bounds, friend. 'Twas your kindness that altered my plight as much as this bow. Not only are you my sister's savior, but mine as well. By the by, if you are as passionate about mastery of the bow as I am, perhaps...
Yeah, I will do that. There you go. And see, because it's the accuracy that you develop with such practices that impresses elves, right? They're like, oh, that's really accurate. like what have they been doing in human civilization that produced someone wearing a wolf cap that's that accurate? And anyway, this is how Cervantes became an elvish trained archer. Let's see.
Lame. Karilm ilmen arkael. Aidalia anandor. Nun lintan. Heror
I concur, Taliesin.
Anendune falumtena. Palan hiar menran. Lis fa arnefane.
There you go. I like that. Well, you elves just have a way with words.
Fuinumen alekan. Elorato ala.
Remember, the sun is translating this for me.
Lera Athena.
Look at the communication the father's pulling off here with the translator. That's impressive.
Like Azar an ils findamunt in ciel.
Aw.
Nefanomo lis Kyriandio mor erlot.
I was just cracking jokes, though. Yeah. Frankly, dude, I knew I was coming here. I had to teach my pawn Elvish. But as everyone saw in this video, in the previous one, I made myself the archer that this guy wanted to meet anyway. You know? Yeah, maybe it's true. Good job,
Admirably
Cervantes.
done, Master. Your
Right.
deeds will be remembered in the sacred arbor for decades to come.
Ooh, fancy.
Well said.
And she's just talking
Look
about
here.
how
This
world
path seems
gossip
rather
works.
promising.
How extraordinary. It would surely have escaped my eye.
Excellent work.
All right, so there we go. And you know what? We're gonna end this here, as this is the end of teaching Athena to speak Elvish Part 2. And then we're gonna go on, and now that we have access to the Sacred
I
Arbor,
lack
that's where.
information pertinent to this task. Consider hiring a pawn better apprised of such matters.
Gandalf, you have no idea how ironic that is. Anyway, anyway, we're about to enter the Sacred Arbor, which is the location we've been on the way to in order to teach Athena Elvish. And this is the conclusion of Teaching Athena Elvish Part 2, and we'll see you in the third one in just a few moments.